Okay, folks, God17 Shooter here with another video. This one's going to be one that I really wish I didn't have to make, but shit, oh well. But found out today that Lance Armstrong has basically admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs throughout his career. So they took away all 7 of his Tour de France wins and banned him for life from the sport of bicycling. And that's one thing about sports nowadays that really pisses me off, is the fact that you cannot achieve anything, or it is very rare to see somebody achieve anything without some type of steroid or performance enhancing drug or something, because everybody's too worried about winning to worry about natural talent for the most part. There's always going to be some they can get by on just sheer talent and sheer drive and willpower and determination, but it just seems like all the best of them are on some kind of drug, and Mark McGuire, I remember whenever I was a kid, I stayed glued to the TV as I watched him break Roger Maris's record for most home runs in a year. And that was something that I always loved about that year, because you had McGuire and Sosa battling it out for the record, and they both broke it, but McGuire ended up demolishing it. And I kind of had to laugh because Sammy Sosa hit, I think, 66 home runs that season and didn't even lead his league in most home runs. So that was something that I look back on at the time with a really big amount of pride, is the fact that I was able to witness that. But at the same time, here comes all these tests and lawsuits after the fact of McGuire was on steroids. And then Barry Bonds, he broke the record, and he ended up breaking Hank Aaron's all-time home run record. And then coming to find out later on, he was on steroids. So that begs the question, how come Lance Armstrong, that begs 2 questions. First one is, how come Lance Armstrong was found to have used steroids and had to relinquish all of his titles and be banned from the sport for life, but Barry Bonds did it, and he still has his records, he still has everything he's accomplished and all that, and the second question is, how come all this came out after Lance Armstrong fully retired from the sport? Banning him for life from the sport of competitive bicycling isn't going to do him no good if he's already fucking retired. And my views on that are simple. Lance Armstrong, he did what he did, and he gave a lot of people the willpower to do certain things, because they viewed him as a cancer survivor that ended up taking 7 Tour de France's. But why didn't that come out during his career that he was on drugs? Why did it have to be after he retired? Well, I think that's because, and I know I just talked in a circle, but I don't care, is because of the fact that he brought the sport to somewhere it's never been before, brought it to a different vernacular than anybody else has, and basically put the U.S. on the map when it came to the sport. So Lance Armstrong winning was good for sport. So I think that's why didn't anything ever come of it back then. But now that he's retired, there's really nothing more he can do. Microwave, there's really nothing more he can do for the sport. So now they're doing what they have to do. And I hope I'm wrong, but it don't seem like I am through my standpoint. So, it's a shame that the world has gotten to where they'll break every rule in the book if it means their biggest moneymaker continues to make them money. And that's something I don't agree with. Because one thing I do not want is my future children to be looking, at some athlete or whatever and find out they were using steroids or they cheated or something like that, because then it gives them the wrongful impression that it's okay, and also makes them think he couldn't do this on his own. What makes me think I could do anything on my own? So it's basically a stab and a slap in the face to everything, say for instance I've done throughout my life, because I've been very competitive, and I've worked really hard in all the stuff I've done to make it to where I am, make it to where I'm such a good competition shooter, to where I was so good in baseball whenever I played, I was so good in football, and that translates into, the videos I make on YouTube, because I'm doing them because I love doing them, and I try to make them the best I can. And that's just out of sheer willpower, because that's the way I grew up and that's the way I live my life. So my question to y'all is, what do y'all think about the situation, how you think it should be handled, and all that? So that's the vlog for the day, with the Glock 17 here signing out, reminding y'all, ride safe.